Hey, Coach Derek here from Kikfit Training. Today's going to be a lesson on supersets. Supersets essentially are working the opposing muscle groups back to back. For example, your biceps and your triceps, or your chest and back, or your quads and hamstrings. Basically, opposing sides of the same joint. Today's workout will be for the biceps and the triceps. This will encourage you to get more cardio during that workout, more intensity during that workout in a shorter amount of time. The three things you will need for this workout are going to be a suspension strap set. So the one I have in front of me has a door strap attached to it to anchor it into any sturdy door. You also will need an extra tube band with handles. The one I'm using is called Spry, S-P-R-I. Any brand will do, but you do need one with actual plastic handles to hold on to. The third piece of equipment you will need is a carabiner or a D-ring that's spring-loaded. You want to make sure it's a sturdy one, not the ones you use to hold your keychains, but the one actually can hold some kind of resistance. At a hardware store, it probably is a good place to buy one of these carabiners. The setup is this. I take the suspension strap. Once I anchor the door strap, which is this portion, into the corner of the door, there will be a bracket at the bottom like so, a metal bracket. Simply just take your D-ring, anchor that into the metal bracket. Once you do, loop the extra tube band into the D-ring until it looks something like this. Once you have this configuration, again, the door strap goes into the door, corner of the door, lock it, pull the door, make sure it's secured, it cannot come out. It should look something like this when you are finished. The suspension strap is on the bottom. The extra tube is on the top. The first exercise for today is going to be overhead tricep extension, working the long head of the tricep to build size. Take the handles together, squeeze them side by side. If you have a hard time with that, take one thumb and loop it over the handle or the strap to keep that secured. Either way works. Once I have that together, my body is going to be in a flat surfboard position and not a bow and arrow like this. Nice and flat, arms out. Stretch past my head, then extend all the way out. You will know you're doing this correctly if you are touching the strap to your head like so, your arms moving too low. It must be high enough where the strap does not touch your head whatsoever. As you perform this exercise, we're always looking to be at an 8 out of a 10 intensity. That is the golden measuring rule that we use in Kikfit. So if you don't know for sure as you do this, it's too intense, all I need to do is change the distance away from the door to change the resistance. With the suspension strap, very important. The further I move away from the door, the less resistance I have. So if this is too tough for me, I simply move forward 1 inch away from the door, and now I have about 5% less resistance. If it's still too hard, move another inch. The opposite can be true. As I'm performing this exercise, once I warm up, I realize this is too easy for me. If that's the case, I move back 1 inch and add resistance until I find the perfect Goldilocks zone where I'm an 8 out of a 10. This may change throughout the whole set, so feel free to move forward or back 1 inch without stopping your reps until you reach 20 reps total. Once I reach 20 reps, I will put that strap down and grab the extra tube band that's already positioned. Grab the handles, step forward, get into a lunge, lean slightly forward. My back again is like a surfboard, nice and flat. I'm curling just with my forearms toward my shoulder, stretching all the way back. Again, if this is too easy, simply step forward 1 inch or lean forward, but keep the back flat until you find the right resistance. If it's too difficult, lean back, but keep the back flat 1 inch or step back 1 inch until you're at an 8 out of a 10 once again. But I'm not stopping my reps. I'm trying to find that Goldilocks zone to keep that muscle at a state of intensity, or it's called a training effect, to get what I'm looking for at the end of the set. Once I perform my 20 reps, At an 8 out of a 10, I will stretch my biceps, hands level to the ground, wrist bent just like so, flat against the wall. Turn away for 10 seconds. For today's purposes, we're not going to do 10 seconds to save time, but at home, 10 seconds. Turn around, 10 seconds this direction, followed by a tricep stretch. Fingers to the middle of your back, pull the elbow and lean as far as you can until you feel a deep tricep stretch. 10 seconds. Other side, hold, breathe out, 10 seconds. This is also important to take a rest in between your first superset. Bring your heart rate down, catch your breath, collect your thoughts, get a sip of water, get some more fuel so that you are recovered enough and have enough fuel to have the same amount of intensity on your second set if you choose to do so. The second exercise for the superset, using the same props, this time we're going to work our biceps first and triceps second. So here we go. Grab the suspension strap. Make sure it's nice and tight. Now the rule of thumb is this has to be like a tight violin string, not wet spaghetti like this. So it's got to be nice and tight, leaning back with my body resistance. I want to get my hands in close again to the front. And like I have a short barbell curl, I'm going to curl with my forearms to the side of my cheekbones while keeping my back nice and flat. So again, I don't want to bend my back like this. I don't want to use my back muscles like this. I only want to use my forearms, which is my biceps, with the back flat, curling up as high as I can, keeping that tempo moderately fast. Get a full stretch. Again, if I don't feel an 8 out of a 10, let's say this is a 7, I need to step forward 1 inch, continue my set. If this is a 9, I need to step back 1 inch until it's an 8 again. So the whole time as you perform this exercise, it's an 8 out of a 10, or 80%, if you will, of your maximal exertion. Once you perform 20 reps at an 8 out of a 10, I will simply step forward, exchange the suspension strap for the extra tube band, and simply step back this time, doing a triceps push down. What you want to do is get your feet close together, bend slightly forward, back into like a human surfboard. Bring my elbows back and squeeze my shoulder blades together. Very important. Squeeze the shoulder blades together, and just my forearms are going to extend past my body and pretend I'm pushing my knuckles into the floor behind me. So what I don't want to do is use my back muscles like this or swing my body like this. I'm like Tyrannosaurus Rex. Shoulder blades together, and just my short forearms are moving up and down into a tricep extension. Now, same thing, an 8 out of a 10. If this is a 7, I step back to add resistance. Different than a suspension strap. Resistance bands is the further away you are, the more intense it is. Suspension strap is the closer you are to the door, the harder it is. They are very different in that way. Keeping that at an 8 out of a 10 as I get fatigued until I reach my 20 reps. Once I do, same thing as before. Bicep stretch, level to the ground, wrist bent, flat against the wall, 10 seconds. Switch sides, wrist bent, 10 seconds. Tricep stretch, pull and lean, fingers in the middle, 10 seconds. Pull and lean, fingers in the middle, 10 seconds. And that is the completion of your first superset workout for your biceps and triceps. In the beginning, we're going to do just one circuit of this, but as you get fitter and get more endurance, as you cannot fake endurance, you can add a second set. And finally, the ultimate would be 3 sets, which would be very intense. This is the easiest way to make progress using a combination of tools for variety and making sure that you continue your journey on becoming your own gym anywhere, anytime. I'm Coach Derek from Kikfit Training, and that's my tip of the day.